Doing two reviews today just because I hadn't gotten to Obsession yet, and that was a movie I saw back when it came out, the week it came out, in I think the third week of May here, 2026. And I know there's a lot of buzz about this movie already just because it did so well. At the time I went to see it, I didn't know anything about it. My daughter had seen it with her friend and then said, "You got to see this movie." And so we all went and saw it. It was intense. I don't always do well with the horror genre or gore or graphic scenes, and this had all of it. Remarkably made on a shoestring budget of under $1 million, like 750,000 by Curry Barker, which is really his movie that's putting him on the map. Outdid all the movies like Michael Jackson. Probably outdo perhaps Disclosure Day. We'll see. Just really, box office leading by the end of May and beginning of June for having been made under $1 million. I think it was grossing somewhere like $90 million, in a couple weekends. What an amazing movie. A cerebral, this guy, Bear, who's insecure, doesn't like to face rejection, gets a hold of this wish stick like a cursed willow, makes a wish that his coworker, Nikki, will love him, and only him. And oh boy, does she. She becomes obsessed with him, and hence the title Obsession. It's a movie where it plays with your perception of who is who in this, because you do kind of, it's so subversive of Curry Barker to get you to feel for Bear, this guy not being able to, perhaps be valiant and courageous and woo a girl, and then has to resort to this wish stick. But truthfully, by the end, you really despise him. He's the villain in the story because, he's stripping this young woman of her agency. You at points in the film see her trying to pretend like while her obsessed version of her is asleep, come out and let him know, just kill me. I don't want to be, in this anymore. And, at that point, it's just so sinister that, his reaction to that is to, act like, "Oh, you don't like me? You only like me because I've done this." Well, yeah. And continue to keep her trapped, in this wish cursed state, even to where she inflicts self-harm and mutilation, which is just, those parts were really hard for me to see. My daughter's godfather had gone to the movies to see it with us that weekend at the cinema. And because she'd already seen it with her friend a few days before, he turned to her and said, "You wanted to see this twice as the movie ended?" I kind of felt the same way, with this horrible obsession she got from this one wish willow curse stick, but it was well done. I cannot understate that. This, era we're living in, especially in the 2020s, of this art house horror cinema we're getting to see, all the way from Back to Substance on my channel I've discussed, to last year's Weapons. It's just amazing, these flicks we're getting to see. They're so superbly done. And we'll look back at this period as just, this renaissance of horror flicks that really got the resources and the ability to tell stories how they wanted to. So hats off to Curry Barker. One other thing I'd say is cats. I love cats. I have 6 cats. They're barn cats, of course, but they're 5-star barn cats, if you will, all of them with collars, microchips, vaccinations, and Apple AirTags. So this era of these parts in the movie where cats were at the beginning and dead, and things they did with them were just almost disturbing from the get-go for me. And, I think cats are discriminated against. If we look at the feline species, you could always go to a hotel and pay a deposit to have your dog stay the night at any franchise on the road trip you're doing in the United States of America. But by golly, not all cats. Some hotels will only allow you to put a deposit down to have a cat stay in it. And a dog stay in it, not cats. So I've always felt, being a cat lover, there's this certain level of prejudice and discrimination towards cats. And that's just one kind of symbolism I saw in this flick. Oh, one other thing that I noticed right towards the end, and always on this channel, spoiler alerts, don't be watching my overview and analysis of the films until you've seen them, if you don't want to be unpleasantly spoiled. But, you know, Nikki, who's obsessed with Bear, the insecure guy, just because of the, you know, the One Wish Willow curse stick, ends up killing a mutual friend of theirs, but it's kind of really not who she is. She wouldn't really do this, but she is so obsessed with him. Nobody can flirt with him or have a moment with him. And perhaps you've seen this moment where he's really, truly falling in love with the person he should fall in love with, like how it's really done. You know, there is rejection, right? And that's something that, you know, is a skill youth are losing in today's society, with everything being so online, and you have artificial intelligence that are affirmative and tell you everything you want to hear, algorithms that feed you what you want to see and hear and be informed with and permeated with. And, you know, my generation and the generations before, well, by all, we had friends and relationships and people that just rejected us, and we had to learn to do that. So, you know, if you want a true skill, go try to actually set yourself up for rejection and be okay with that. And learn, and coaches, training coaches for people's intrapersonal growth, do that. They'll have them apply for jobs where they know they're not going to get the job, to feel what rejection's like, or maybe go out and ask people on a date, not expecting all of them to go out with them on the date, right? Or people to do things and they're rejected, to feel that and to overcome it. It's something that youth need to do today. And so this movie is just such an amazing allegory of all these things. But one of the pieces of homage in this flick is towards the end of the scene, the friend that truly is falling in love with Bear, that Nikki mutilates and kills, she later poses her body in a very revealing and defaming it and humiliating way. And it's such homage to the Black Dahlia, which is a part of Hollywood and Los Angeles history. So much that Brian De Palma made a movie, The Black Dahlia. So if you don't know about that, check that out. That was something instantly when I finished the film, I turned to my daughter and to the group we were with viewing the film, like, did anybody catch that Black Dahlia part at the end? So Obsession, a most auspicious and amazing flick, you know, from Corey Barker, is it? Yeah. Curry Barker. And you should get out, see it. You will not be let down. That one was intense, but be ready for it. Okay. And with that said, that's all, folks.